When you're shouting death to the Jews and death to America, that's what you're for, and that's how it should be characterized. I didn't love the bill. I thought the language was, had some issues with it, but I think this is a moment where we have to speak loudly and not equivocate. We're not for killing of people or eradicating a race because of their religious beliefs.
That was Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry, who took to his X account after voting yes on the House's anti-Semitism awareness bill. This comes as the anti-Israel protests continue to take over campuses across the country. Congressman Perry's state of Pennsylvania being one of them, where protests have continued into an 8th day at the University of Pennsylvania.
Congressman Scott Perry joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us, and happy Friday to you, but a very intense week. And I want to share something else that you posted on X before we get into it. You stressed the severity of these protests, saying America is under assault. The war in the Middle East has now come home to major cities and universities. We just had on some of New York's finest from the NYPD. And they shared some very disturbing literature and supplies that they found on the Columbia campus after dismantling that encampment. What you're saying there rings true. One of the messages they saw also at NYU, death to America. Your thoughts?
Well, that's exactly right. Good afternoon, Katrina and Tom. This is now in America. We're used to, in America, seeing on our nightly news the American flag set on fire in the Middle East, stomped on as people chant death to America, death to the Jews. But that usually happens overseas in the Middle East. But now it's happening in America on American campuses. And I remind everybody, it was the American flag that was lowered at the campuses and the so-called Palestinian flag put up. And so this is about death to America. These are not pro-Palestinian protests. This is anti-Semitic protesting. This is anti-American protesting. This is genocidal, pro-Hamas protesting. And I believe that's how it should be characterized, so that we understand and acknowledge the gravity of the circumstance that's occurring in America now.
Congressman, I have to get your reaction to this. Certainly, as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, you have been outspoken about threats to our national security, saying, quote, the White House is literally now inviting enemies of America into America. Our enemies are in our backyard and nothing is being done about it. Congressman, this fast track for Gazans coming to the United States that Biden wants to have happen, what can the Republican House or the Congress do to prevent that from happening?
Unfortunately, our options are very limited. We had an alternative when it came to the funding of the federal government, and that was when we had the leverage to say none of this can happen. Rick Scott actually had a bill. Senator Rick Scott had a bill or an amendment for the bill to disallow these people from Gaza to come. And let's understand, this is not xenophobic or anything like that. The vast majority of people in Gaza support the October 7th attacks and massacre. And so when Egypt, when Jordan, when their neighboring communities won't take these people, I think we need to be very careful about what we do in America, especially when we see these protests. The result of bringing people that hate America to America, you're seeing play out on American college campuses right now.